Do you feel hopeful about the future, honestly? Yes, because what other choice is there? Why did you wait to pursue music? This is a question that brings a little bit of an embarrassment to me because I waited way too long. Okay. And I also believe that art and music are the pioneers and the magnifiers of changes in society, and so that is never neutral. Hi, I'm Fat Ives, and I'm here with Fabricated to answer some questions about my latest song called Somerset Hills. If you haven't listened to it, please check it out right now. Link in the description and in the card somewhere here. Okay. Question number 1. When did you realize that place, Somerset, will stay with you forever? So I wrote this song during the pandemic, and yes, I am embarrassed that I only am showing it to the people right now, but I realized that this place is going to stay with me forever because of the pandemic event. I think without it, it would be just one of the times that I've been somewhere, I lived somewhere else, but because it was during the pandemic, it was such unusual circumstances, the fear of the pandemic, but also watching the nature healing without human intervention was such a peculiar time to be. So that's when I knew that this place will stay with me forever, and I think that inspired the song. Okay, question number 2. Are the hills in the song real or a vision your mind created? No, they are absolutely real. However, they came during the pandemic, so it wasn't my childhood circumstance. It wasn't the countryside of my childhood that I write about in the song, because there is some childhood nostalgia about running around with your friends. However, I was running around in the Somerset Hills, but that I was already an adult with my very much adult friend as well. So it kind of morphed together with my childhood and the place I was at the time. Cool. Another question. Do you think art can change how people feel about climate change, climate crisis? Yes, I do. I think there are two ways primarily that art can inspire people to feel differently, that can really touch people. The first one is photography, because nothing says, look at this, as photography. You know it's real. It shows, if especially someone is a very skilled photographer, it can portray so many emotions, both of the object, but also of the photographer, and also towards the viewer. So photography is one of the most powerful art forms to comment on whatever is going on in the world. And the second thing is books, and I even noted down the book that really touched me when it comes to climate change, because it is a little bit of a science fiction maybe, or like near future written, but very realistic still, and that is The Land of Milk and Honey by C. Pam Zhang. Absolutely fantastic book, and it really put a lot of anxiety about the climate in me. It's very well written. I highly recommend it. Do you think we romanticize the past because the present feels overwhelming? Yes, I think there is a tendency to do that, especially if you have some unhealed wounds within yourself. Maybe they are because, we romanticize the past because we are scared to face whatever happened in our past sometimes. And because it already happened and we kind of have no control over that anymore, it feels easier to romanticize than romanticize the future, which is unpredictable. So the present can feel overwhelming. However, the present is the only thing that you can control. And that's why you should stick to your present. I hope that makes sense. But you only have the now. Past is in the past. And it's fine to have memories, fond memories, and build stories around what happened in the past. But it can't be at the cost of the present. Oh, another one with the past or present. Is the song more about the past or the present? I think they kind of morph together, but as I said in my first question, it is the childhood nostalgia of running around with your friends a little bit and remembering that, but also morphed with the climate crisis. So it is both about the past and the present, hopefully more about the present and inspiring towards some action to be taken as an individual, as a collective of individuals, right? Okay. How do you hold both grief for the planet and love for it at the same time? Oh God. I think it is looking at reality as it is, as a fact, as a neutral fact. This is a reality of the planet, of our lives, of our circumstance, of our position, and so on. And then looking for the glimmers of life, the sparkles that make us happy. Because if you only look at the negative side of things, which is what the news tends to portray to us, news is very aggravating and can lead to very pessimistic and doom kind of attitude towards life. So you can hold that. I think it is given to you without you even trying that much. So the grief is handed to you. And the love you have to find yourself. So finding the glimmers, finding the happy place, going out to nature, appreciating it as it is, even some one tree that you pass over on a sidewalk, or seeing the birds, or enjoying your pets, watching some nature documentaries that do amazing work for showing us the planet that we maybe can't travel. So the grief is given to you, but for the love and for the happiness, you have to look yourself. Do you think artists can ever really be apolitical? No, I don't. I understand that some people want to just be entertainers and bring people nice time, have fun, and all of that. However, if you gain some notoriety, you do represent something more than just your art. And, having good time is also political, because some people are allowed to have a fun time more often than others, right? And I also believe that art and music are the pioneers and the magnifiers of changes in society, and so that is never neutral. Do you feel hopeful about the future, honestly? Yes, because what other choice is there? If you have to feel hopeful, because feeling what would drive you? Hope is the driver of our lives, that things can be better. And I think if you talk and think positively about life, about yourself, things will be easier. I know that we can't charm reality, we can't put a spell on anything, but our minds are connected to something bigger than us, right? So please try to stay as positive as you can and be hopeful for the future, because people survived for millennia, and I believe that we can build better lives, better future, be better role models for those that come after us. Where do you go when you need to feel grounded? I go out to nature, obviously. I try to find at least a patch of grass or, touch some trees. Feeling grounded is a little bit of a ritual, obviously, especially if you work, if you need to become a little bit someone else in your professional setting, right? You need to be professional, you need to. Different things are expected of you than when you're just you privately. So feeling grounded in yourself as you are, because we spend so much time working, is a ritual, and you need to go to a place that allows you to do that. I would say that home is number one and nature is number two and museums are number three. So home, because I can just walk around however I want. Nature, to get the perspective that there are other living things around me, that I am part of an ever-moving ecosystem and the world, and I need to do my part to preserve it, to make it better. And museums and art galleries, to again gain perspective on human history, on time past, to infuse myself with the essence that all the artists left in their creations. And so that puts me into perspective that I am actually quite small and what I do can be insignificant, and so who cares what I do, but also really grateful and grand and big at the same time, because I do get to see this art. The thousands or at least hundreds of years of our art collected in one place, and I get to be the one that sees it all. Sorry. So museums and art galleries are absolutely fantastic. I even recorded a whole vlog about it. So if you want to go to my channel, please check it out. And now to a next question. Do you think cities make us forget who we are? This is actually what starts the whole song, right? Nothing ever is easy. We're blank-faced people living in big cities. So, big cities surrounded by this glass and metal. I remember that I wrote this line also during the pandemic, and I was in the city of London because I needed to go there for work, and it was empty, and you could walk around at the time when I was there. You could be outside, and so I went to the city of London, the financial district, and I remember looking at the skyscrapers and at all this glass and metal and concrete. And that's where it came from, the sky-high buildings. Sky-high buildings trapping our souls of pure gold. Sky-high buildings trapping our souls of pure gold. Because I think our souls are golden. And that's why I still stay hopeful for the life. And I believe that we shine as people are deep inside. There is always a little bit of light in every one of us. And so the sky-high buildings trapping our souls, I think it is the fact that, yes, cities do make us forget who we are, as in that we are part of nature. I think big cities tend to make us more individualistic and very focused on the man-made world, not the natural world. And I think it is a dangerous slope to forget that we are human and not some gods that need to dominate nature. I think we should live among nature and not try to dominate it. Why did you wait to pursue music? This is question that brings a little bit of an embarrassment to me because I waited way too long. Okay, I needed to grow up. I needed to heal a lot before doing this, because I think pursuing music or any sort of creativity makes you a little bit more vulnerable, in a way that you bear a bit more of yourself in public, sometimes unintentionally. Yes, you infuse yourself into your creations, and so that makes you a little bit more vulnerable, and people can spot things that you don't necessarily want them to spot. And I didn't pursue music for the longest time, primarily because I believed the wrong people. I believed my father, who always told me that I couldn't sing. Like, he mocked me so much whenever I showed him my music a few times, and it was just met with mockery. Can't sing. And I believed him. And then, because I am from an abusive family, emotionally abusive family, this showed in my friendships as well, because you look for friends that feel familiar or similar to what you already know. And if what you know is abuse, you're gonna make friends with not the nicest people. So I have always been the sidekick and never the full partner in a friendship. I noticed in my past friendships, I'm much better at it now. And so you are who you surround yourself with. And so if you surround yourself with people who are closed-minded, have limited beliefs about what is possible in life, are a little bit more negative, or are trying to actively stop you, almost sabotage you, that's who you're going to become. You're going to be sabotaging yourself. And unfortunately, it is something that I've done. And I am doing it now because I realized, after years of therapy, finally it clicked, that even though it's not my fault where I come from, it is my responsibility where I go from here. And so here we are. Do you feel pressure to represent something bigger than yourself? I don't feel the pressure, but I do feel a pull to do that. I always have, and I started making things on social media a few times before, and I always stopped because I made the mistake of showing it to the wrong person, who would completely shut it down, and I would lose all heart, and I didn't believe in myself enough to continue kind of in spite of those people. So I am doing it now because that pull has always been there and it never went away. And I don't know what recently started breaking inside of me or breaking free from inside of me, but I know that if I don't listen now, I will be miserable. I will be stifling something inside of me, and that is no way to live. So there you go. Okay, next question. What does being a beginner mean to you now? It means staying curious. I think this is one of the characteristics that I have that I really like about myself, that I am curious about new experiences, trying new things and seeing where things go. And I do take risks in life. I really appreciate that in me. So being a beginner means being curious, trying something new, not being I want to be a professional, but if you are proficient in something, you stay on one level, and I want to keep finding new things, satisfying that curiosity and learning new things, because you never know what's going to happen in life, right? And I think that curiosity also preserves like your spiritual youthfulness. I don't know how else to say it. So you can be a certain age, and in terms of entertainment business, I'm probably ancient for a woman, which I completely reject, by the way. I know I am who I am. I am, you know, my age differs from day to day, but never mind. Uh, so this curiosity and being a beginner multiple times in your life can help you stay young. Your brain stays young because you keep experimenting, keep trying new things. So I think that is one of the keys to feeling youthful. Obviously, there's also all the body things that you need to do, but that's for another time, maybe. What do you hope someone feels when they listen to this song? Okay, so first of all, I hope that you feel whatever you need to feel because we engage with art on a very individualistic level. You can show the same artwork, whatever medium that art is in, to 1,000 people, and you will have 1,000 different interpretations, 1,000 different experiences. And so I need you to feel whatever you need to feel. And if you can let me know in the comments what it is, that would be super cool. But if I could guide you in it, I made some notes. I would like you to feel contemplative and reflective about, again, maybe some childhood nostalgia, maybe about some nature, maybe about where the world is going and what you can contribute in your own capacity to it. I would like you to be calm and look at reality as it is now without despair. Know that you are an individual, but as an individual, you form a collective with others. And so, as long as we stay together, as long as we help each other, there is hope for everything. And the last question: what comes after Somerset Hills? Well, you'll be happy to know that I have a bunch of songs that I will be releasing one by one, so that there's always something fresh, something new. The next song, I think, will be the one inspired by the movie The Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver? Sorry. Can't remember the names. It's called The Marriage Story. And I remember that movie hit me quite well because it was really good and I loved how they played and acted in it. And so I wrote a song inspired by that. So we will be diving a little bit more into relationships between men and women and probably talk a bit more about patriarchy, misogyny, and women's place in the world, because I do have some opinions about that. Okay, but that will be next time. Thank you so much for watching, and please remember that if you want to have your questions answered, the best way to submit them is through my Patreon. All the links are in the description and in the profile, so please check it out, support me there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. And now obviously listen to the song.